I understand that there is a legitimate debate on the question of earmarks. I understand it. It's a fair topic to be debated on the floor of the House. I understand, Mr. Chairman, that the other side would be defensive about this issue in that their abuses of the earmark process and their bulldozing to passage these earmarks resulted in so much excoriation by the press and a lost election and the incarceration of their members. But, Mr. Chairman, there is a time and a place for debate on these issues, and this bill is not the time or the place. This is the Homeland Security appropriation, Mr. Chairman. This is the last bill that ought to be politicized. Mr. Chairman, my congressional district lost over 100 people on September 11th. Over 100 people. I went to more funerals than I thought was possible. My district is about 40 miles from where the Twin Towers used to stand. When my constituents go to New York City these days, they can't see the Twin Towers because we had no Homeland Security in 2001. When they go to New York City, it's without the people that they loved and knew. All they have left are the memories. And, Mr. Chairman, what I believe is happening today is that the members from the other side are dishonoring those memories and, in fact, compromising our Homeland Security by using this critical bill to keep us safe and sound and strong, to score political points on, to delay on. And that is simply not acceptable. They are putting politics, Mr. Chairman, ahead of our Homeland Security. They are putting politics, Mr. Chairman, ahead of our national security. They are putting politics, Mr. Chairman, ahead of the memory of those who lost their lives on 9/11. Now, I was in Pakistan just some time ago with the Appropriations Committee, and I stood on the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan and learned that the Taliban is getting stronger. Al-Qaeda is resurging. Ansar al-Islam getting stronger. Jamaat Islamiyah getting better. And what is the other side doing over the past 48 hours? Spending 8 hours debating on cuts to the General Counsel's office in the Department of Homeland Security. Al-Qaeda and the Taliban planning, plotting, strategizing in our demise, and the other side, Mr. Chairman, spending 8 hours debating a cut in the office of the General Counsel's office in the Department of Homeland Security. Mr. Chair, I will not yield. Not at this time. If I have time, I'd be happy to yield to the gentleman. Mr. Chairman, forgive me if I sound frustrated, but I don't know how I go back to my district in New York and explain to my constituents who attended funerals that instead of figuring out how to strengthen our borders, we spent 8 hours debating the General Counsel's office in the Department of Homeland Security. That while our enemies are planning to destroy us, the other side offered 8 separate motions to rise yesterday. That while our enemies are figuring out how to plan our demise, the other side is figuring out how to delay the response. How can I possibly explain that to the families that I represent? I don't begrudge the other side their right to debate earmarks, but not on this bill. This is the wrong bill. It is on the wrong time. It is at the wrong time. And, Mr. Chairman, I want to return all of us to that very dark day. Many of the gentlemen and the gentlewomen who are spending all of this time consumed in a debate over earmarks on a bill that has no earmarks, consumed on procedural motions, held hands on 9/11 that night on the steps of this building and pledged never again. We would never let this happen again. We will do what must be done. We will bear any burden and pay any price in the defense of liberty and freedom. And what has happened in the years since then? We're not willing to pay the price. We're not willing to bear the burden. The only burden is that we're going to be here through the weekend debating more motions to rise, more amendments that are nothing but, in my view, political cheap shots.
Time of the gentleman has
Speaker,
expired.
this is not the time and the place. We need to pass this bill to strengthen America, not compromise
Time of the gentleman has
America's
expired.
security.